lost my job, my home, everything!
Oh, even your paintings?
Nobody would take them, so I had to eat them!
Titanic. This movie. So, a lot of people online have actually been talking about this movie of late.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, I want to be as original as humanly possible because there is a person, there are several peoples that I respect that have made reviews on Titanic, and all of them are all interesting in their own ways. They talk about how, hey, Titanic is actually good though, and I'm like, bitch, please.
I don't think it's horrible, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's like an abomination of a movie. I just don't think it's like the end-all love story that everybody makes it out to be.
Yeah, everybody seems to like really talk about how like the melodrama in this movie just really gets to them, and I feel like it just didn't get to either of us, right?
Yeah.
Like, and this is us two Zoomers. We both grew up on the interwebs, right? We have an address on the interwebs. We have an address on the interwebs. You know, written in binary, of course. And I feel that a lot of the people that review Titanic are all, well, you know,
older.
Boomers. Yeah, older. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And I'm at the point now where I'm like, I think that two actual young people, like, we were born when this movie came out, right? So I feel that...
Yeah, literally, this movie came out, like, just a few months before you were born, right?
Yep, and a few more months before you were born. So I feel as though we're the perfect age group to talk about this because all the old people have had all the say-so. So now it's our turn. When I was a wee lad watching this movie, I didn't understand the concept of movies so long you had to split them up into 2 VHS tapes, right? So this movie is, what was it, like 3.5 hours long?
But Titanic is 3.5 hours long, and I didn't feel like that to me.
No, it did. To be, in all fairness, it actually does not really feel like its length. It feels like the movie. That's the reason why I think people have kind of forgotten why this movie's bad, because it kind of breezes along at such a pace that it's so the pace makes it, like, I won't say like less memorable, but you're able to forgive it more because it doesn't feel like it's in your face and lasts too long. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's nothing worse than a boring movie that feels like it's taken too long. So you're willing to forgive a movie that feels like, oh, it's over already? Oh, sweet. But back in the day, this movie to me, I actually thought that this was two different movies. I thought, because if you look at the VHS tape, the first half is literally all the romance bullshit, all the boring shit that I fucking hate about this movie, and then the second half is actually broken up into the actual destruction of the Titanic. So from henceforth, we shall call the boring half of this movie Titanic, and we shall call the actual good half Titanic 2. Not to be confused with that Titanic 2, but this is Titanic 2. Tape 1. What did you think of the tape 1? All the romance, all the foo-foo bullshit.
I feel like it went on too long, and it was really boring, and then the movie went on for too long. I feel like they could have fleshed out with how long the first part felt. I feel like they could have fleshed out characters way better than they did. And the whole romance part didn't grasp me the way I think it grasped other people.
Agreed. True. I gotcha. Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, I think both of us can agree that the romance really bores us. What I don't even want to call it punch drunk love, but I guess that is a way to describe it, right? A punch drunk love, or like, swept off your feet. That Romeo and Juliet shit is
like
just
the honeymoon, like their whole relationship is like the honeymoon phase.
Yeah, and I don't know, to anybody that's ever been in a real relationship, that ain't what all relationships are like. So you just know that as soon as they get off the boat, that she's gonna be squandering, like she's gonna be sitting back in poverty, and he's gonna be like, no, you can't just buy fancy caviar anymore. We're poor. We're actually homeless. So, in a homeless world, I'm going to sell my art, the nude art I made of you, and that's how we're going to eat tonight.
I've lost my job, my home, everything!
Oh, even your paintings?
Nobody would take them, so I had to eat them!
And that's kind of the, like, I don't know, that's where I think about them trying to, like, buy a home together, and I go, nah, that shit ain't gonna fucking work. So I think that, like, That's real. Like, the romance just, like, really already kills it for us. Like, it's not romantic to us in any way whatsoever. And hey, I think we're both romantics, but this movie to us is not very fucking romantic. But also, can we talk about the elephant in the room? Leo's southern accent that decides when it wants to be here and when it doesn't, when it checks in and checks out. I mean, I don't know. Actually, to be honest with you, all the boomers say that Leo's acting was serviceable. Sure, it wasn't his best performance, but he was only 21, or like 22 or something. And I'm like, yeah, but have you ever seen that kid from Room? Like, that kid from Room is like 8, and he acts like a fucking, like, Oscar-worthy. Like, or like the other kid from, like, Beasts of No Nation. Like, he acts also Oscar-worthy. I don't know. I get it. Like, people have trajectory in their careers. Like, I feel like people just make excuses just because they like the movie. Like, you can still like the movie and have bad elements. Like, Leo's acting was bad. Like, let's just throw it out. It's bad. Let's be honest with our fucking selves. It was bad. But yeah, no,
you really have a problem with this.
I don't know. It's just the thing is, I grew up on Leonardo DiCaprio when he was good, so watching him while he's bad is actually kind of like heartbreaking.
No. Yeah, I guess it's less heartbreaking for me, for someone who's never seen really any of his films.
You know what I can say? The film looks really nice.
It does. It
Like,
did look really good.
It's photographed well, and like
Especially in part 2 with all the water.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Oh, it looked really beautiful with all the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Except that one dolphin scene. That one dolphin scene was pretty bad.
Yeah, that dolphin scene does not age very well. That's what I was gonna say. Like the incorporation of CGI with the practical effects for like, for the most part, is seamless, but there's some obvious parts where it's not seamless and looks bad and doesn't age very well. Go back and watch the movie. We're all locked inside right now. Go back and watch the movie. It doesn't hold up very well. At least it's in some areas with the CGI. Most of the practical effects actually hold up like tremendously well.
Okay.
The first terrible movie, like, see, the only thing anybody ever remembers is the ship sinking. I mean, sure, we remember I'm the king of the world, toot toot toot, but but I don't know. I remember it more as like a meme, while the second half is just so much more sad, and I take it so much more seriously. Anyways, we're not done talking about the first part yet. I think we both agree the first part isn't really that special to either of us. The melodrama of like Rose finding her freedom in like this youthful waning just doesn't resonate with either of us. And like the parallels with Romeo and Juliet to me of like these two people from different classes, or, like different kingdoms or whatever, or you know what I mean? Like it's that general thing of like two different people from different worlds coming together and falling in love in what is a tragic setting. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where we as the audience know they can't be together for whatever obvious reason is tired as fuck to me, and it just didn't work for me personally. That's just me though. I'm just a guy.
That's just me though.
Apparently, it worked for a lot of people. It just don't work for me. And then the thing is, like, we all know what happens, like when you run away with somebody that you just met. It ends terribly. Hopefully you don't have any kids involved, but you probably do, because you're like, hey, we're in love. It's fine. Just let me do it. Like, without the condom, though, I feel nothing. I want to feel you as best as I humanly can.
Why are you so descriptive with things like this?
I don't know. It's for the horny posting. Let me horny post. And then they have a baby, and then the baby grows up poor and dies of polio, because this is that era. So,
lovely imagery. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, like, I'm not trying to be like a dick. It's just, to summarize, without rambling, it all just feels really childish. The first half of the movie feels very childish to me. Like, everybody's like even Cal is a cartoon villain. Jack,
he
like,
really is.
The separation between the classes feels very reductionist, to say the least, and it just feels simple. And the thing is, James Cameron is kind of known for his simple characters and simple plots. I mean, you've probably never seen Avatar with the blue people, but like,
nope.
Characters in that are just as simple. So I don't know. I guess it's whatever. He's not really known for being the expert writing craftsman. He's more known for his directing and shooting style, which is what we're going to talk about right now in Titanic Part 2. Titanic Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. This is what we're on now. This is what made the movie for us.
Yeah.
This is where the movie got really, not just good, but actually kind of got great at a certain point.
I thought it was pretty good.
Like, tell me the image.
Maybe not just good, pretty good.
Like, okay,
maybe not
good.
Great, but pretty good.
Tell me the image of the woman laying her children to rest.
Yeah, that killed me.
Like, tell me this-
honestly, like, the whole door thing didn't get me. It was it was like stuff like that got me.
the old couple resigning themselves to death as they realize they're not gonna get out.
Yeah, when they just like lay in bed together, like. Is the old couple, the mom, like, knowing her kids are gonna die, and, like, the person,
The ship's architect?
Yeah, the ship's architect.
Mr. Andrews! Sorry, it just popped in my skull. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, then he's just, like, looking at the clock, waiting for his death, because he, like, in the amount of guilt, like, you can feel the guilt he has, because he knew before, like, this was really his fault.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, stuff like that, I think, hits us harder, especially, like, and I don't mean to get super political, but let's just say that certain mishandlings of other tragic events has really started to stick in our collective consciousness, our social collective consciousness, about people fucking up other tragedies, pandemics. So, it, like, when you watch the second half of the Titanic, especially now, I feel like it just hits a lot stronger about watching people whose fucking ego decide to just fuck shit up. Because, well, it didn't look nice. But yeah, no, absolutely. Like, it's actually, it's just, like, this second half of the movie, to me, is actually perfect. Not only is the pacing perfect, because you feel the rush and urgency of the moment, like, it feels like that scary moment, you know what I mean? Like, right before you're about to, like, when you're creeping up, like, a roller coaster, like, it feels so long, like, you feel like you're getting there, but every single inch makes you feel like a little bit more terror, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that's the kind of vibe I got, like, from this movie. And I think the other vibe that I think that we get from this movie is that, like, at the end of the day, like, money rules the world, your life doesn't matter unless you have moolah. Mm-hmm. Like, that struck harder to me than any fucking, like, Jack coming up from the rat pit to come hang out with the rich folk and eat dinner for a while.
Yeah, you know, that did get me, is, like, the fact when they, like, locked the gates on them, mm-hmm. and pretty much told them that their life is, not only did they know their life isn't worth, like, the richer people, but, like, that was literally solidifying their death.
Yeah.
Saying, like, oh, you can't afford to live.
Right, absolutely. Like, it's actually really, it even makes kind of the first half of the movie slightly better, because I feel like I care more about Rose after she gets off the boat. Like, when she goes and lives her life and has a good time, remembers fondly for, like, 3 hours that time she got fucked in a car, like, you know, like, that to me, honestly, it elevates the movie to a place that had the first half just as, it's the reason why, like, I never really, like, watched the first half of Titanic as a kid. We had VHS tapes, I just plug in the second one, and just have a good time.
I had a good time watching a whole bunch of people die.
I mean, I don't know, man. It hits harder. It hits me at a more emotional place, even before I knew what was going on. So, you know, like, it's a good movie, and so we can go on and not ramble. What would you? Well, that's all people have to care about. What's your rating of the movie?
I would give it a 4.
I think I'd give it like a 6.
Okay.
It's a slightly above average movie, mainly because of the filmmaking in the second half.
Okay, 5.
A 5?
5.
You say it's an average movie?
Average.
Okay.
Exactly average.
Okay.
Because, like, half the movie's good, half the movie's bad. It's right in the middle.
Isn't that weird? How do you make a movie like that? It's so strange. Please follow the podcast here on wherever you're listening it to, and please like and comment, of course, your thoughts and opinions as well. Please follow us on YouTube, and please, I think that's about it.
Yeah.